Hey guys, welcome back to another Pokeclicker video, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about some things that I wish I had known before starting Pokeclicker, whether it's time-saving tips or neat hidden secrets. There's a good amount of stuff that I wanted to share that I think new and old players will find really useful. So first off, I wanted to talk about Mega Pokemon. Megas are expensive, that's the short and sweet of it. The way that you obtain a Mega Evolution for a Pokemon is to obtain the corresponding Mega Stone. As you can see down here, I just have 5 of them right now. And the main way that you get these is through grinding dungeons where they are found or beating certain trainers through the story of the game. But after that, a Pokemon needs to be at a certain attack power in order to Mega Evolve. As you can see with Swampert, you need 82,000 attack. For Gardevoir, you need 63,000 attack. And as you can tell, these attack powers are very high. And if you haven't been training these Pokemon up while you're during your playthrough, it's going to be a bit of a mad sprint for you to raise them up to an attack power you can actually Mega Evolve them. So in order to mitigate this, my best tip is to create a group that has every Pokemon that can Mega Evolve inside of it. As you can see in one of the more recent updates, they've added this tab where you can show Pokemon that have a Mega Evolution. So that's a pretty general form of doing it, but the way that I do it is I have this tab down here. It's a group that I call Quest or Priority, and these are Pokemon that I want to grind whenever I don't need to specifically attack. Because most of the Mega Pokemon don't have very high breeding efficiency, so you won't be increasing attack power a lot whenever you are leveling these guys up. But of course, if you are grinding up the Pokemon that can Mega Evolve as you are playing the game, it will make getting Mega Pokemon a lot easier down the road. Also, as you can see, I have EVs for all my Mega Pokemon pulled up right now. Whenever you can grind EVs for Mega Pokemon, I highly recommend doing that as well. Some of the best places are Skypillar, which has Rayquaza, Altaria, Mawile, Benetti, and Sableye, so there's 5 there. You've got Spearpillar, which has Medicham, Absol, and Abomasnow. And then most of the dungeons in the Crown Tundra have at least 1 or 2, maybe even more Mega Pokemon inside, like Iron Ruins has Metagross, the Rock Ruins have Aerodactyl and Aggron, the Tunnel to the Top has Salamence, Garchomp, and Audino. Split Decision Ruins has Glalie, Metagross, and Altaria. Just generally try to take a look around and see if you can find a place that has a lot of fully evolved Pokemon in it, and maybe it'll have a Mega that you can grind some EVs for to make it a bit easier to power up those Megas. Next, I wanted to talk about the hardest to get currency in the game, diamonds. And I'm just gonna say it flat out. Diamond mining is really not worth it, just plain and simple. Maybe if there was a way to automate this process, it would be better. But there are far more efficient ways to get loads of diamonds. You can try to get items from dungeons and routes, but the drop rates are way too low to be consistent, really. So the main way to get diamonds that I've worked out is to trade for them. So say you get a trade for 2 Heartstones for 3 Max Revives. That means that every time that I make this trade, I am gaining 4 diamonds. But if I decide to hold on to the Max Revives, I might get a trade for 1 Max Revive for 3 Heart Scales down the line, which gives me 26 more diamonds per trade. So even though I made 4 diamonds by trading and selling with 1 daily deal, it's much more profitable to use the trades in combination with each other. And these trade lines could end up taking a long time, but as long as you are trading to get more items every time, the payout will continue to multiply. I mean, in hindsight, I guess that's why they have this little infinity symbol in the drop-down menu. But if you're looking to get a lot of diamonds, it really benefits you to hold on to your items rather than selling them. Eventually, you obviously have to sell them to actually get the diamonds. So somewhere during my playthrough, I discovered that you can change percentage egg hatch to route steps over here in settings. And route steps are given based on each route every time you defeat a Pokemon there. But the scaling of route steps is actually way different than what I had originally assumed. So the first route in Hoenn gives you 14 route steps, as you can see on my bottom right egg. But now let's go over to one of the harder routes, Route 129. And you'll see that route steps has increased to 18, even though the average health of the Pokemon in this route has nearly tripled from what it was before, going to around 250-ish to going up to around 800,000-ish. So this means that hatch steps is not really based on HP, and it's much more efficient to find a route that you can just OHKO, instead of trying to work on the route that has the highest amount of HP. And this also kind of applies to clicking, where it's much more efficient to find a route that you can click than just OHKO everything. instead of having a route that you can 2-hit KO everything. But just make sure that you can OHKO all the Pokemon since they vary a bit with their HP as you go. Alright, now this next one may be the most important thing that I can tell you. Come here. Get really close. Your life will be different after I tell you this. There will be your life before and your life after. Are you ready? Use my personal code FIREITEM123 in Pokeclicker to get yourself some free items. You know, after items are unlocked. Okay, so I haven't done the most research on this part, and I still need to follow my own advice, but a few updates ago, vitamins were changed so that there are 2 more types. Protein, the OG vitamin type, increases the attack you get every hatch by 1. Calcium increases attack based on a percentage of the attack, so Pokemon with a higher initial attack, like legendaries, will benefit from this type more. And lastly is Carbos, which reduces the amount of steps required to hatch the egg. Now, you may be wondering, isn't there going to be a different optimal combination for every Pokemon? And you would be right, which is why I use the Pokeclicker Wiki, to see not only which vitamin combo is best for me, but which combo is best for each different region. Now, if you excuse me, I need to give my Pokemon a lot of drugs. Okay, so this next one is not necessarily an in-game tip, but it is something that makes playing the game significantly more pleasant, and I'm gonna preface it with the fact that if you don't use it, please don't gatekeep the people who do. This is a single-player game where the other person's experience will never affect your own life. And being rude to people who play the game differently than you is more of a reflection on your own character than theirs. But at the same time, if you use this tool, don't try to gaslight people into saying that you don't, and that they are just bad at the game. Now, what I'm actually talking about is using an Autoclicker. Since there is no way to increase actual passive attack speed, hatching eggs can take a while. But if you are actively clicking a route that you can OHKO with your click attack, your egg hatching speed can be as fast as you want. But your hand will get tired if you're constantly jitter clicking at max speed, and the last thing you want to say is that you got carpal tunnel from playing Pokeclicker. So the use of an external tool like an Autoclicker can really help you speed things up. But it is a choice that each player has to make for themselves about how they want to play the game. So again, if you're going to use this tool, just be open about it, and if you aren't going to use it, please don't invalidate the people who do. We can all just enjoy the game in different ways. This next tip is pretty simple, it's just that it's possible to get evolution items early. If you defeat a Seadra or a Magnemite in Kanto, for example, you can get Dragon Scales and Metal Coats while still in the Kanto region. Then, whenever you have to go to Johto, you will have some fully evolved Pokemon right off the bat, in order to help you get through the region instead of having to wait until you can buy the items later. Some evolution items are duplicates like Subells and Link Cords, so if you're going to a new region, be sure to have some of these items handy. Okay, so this next one is a bit more complex, but I'm going to explain the opportunity cost of beating dungeons many times for the achievement bonuses. So if a dungeon takes you 1 minute for you to beat one time, and to get to the 500 times through it that it would take you to get the final achievement, that would take you over 8 hours. Now, double the time to 2 minutes initially, and it now takes over 16 hours to max the achievement. Which, compared to the achievement bonus that you get for completing the task, you might want to reconsider where you spend your time if you are just going for a casual playthrough. Okay, so this next one is actually pretty neat. There are hidden areas in some of the regions, and if you don't believe me, try clicking on the small rock that's right next to Mount Moon, and it will pull up a secret Pokemon Center. At this Pokemon Center, you can buy Magikarp way earlier than you would normally obtain it. And there are a few other spots like this in other regions, but I'm just, telling you where they are would be too easy. Happy hunting! I cannot tell you how many times I will complete a Pokeclicker recording, and then after I finish editing the video, I end up losing my entire save, and I have to replay it all again. This is why it is important to save your game. Just download the text file every once in a while and keep 3 or so on hand just in case one of them doesn't work for some reason. And last but not least, this one is kind of the most obvious, but the game is still receiving updates. Whenever I started Pokeclicker, I thought it was just kind of going to be a one and done deal, but I was surprised to find that there is still a thriving community of people who play the game and love talking about it. There's even some Pokemon that you can only get through the Discord server, so head on over there already if you haven't, to stay up to date on how the game is progressing, and I have been told on good authority that a new region is just around the corner, and I will definitely be playing it when it comes out. Alright, so that's all 11 things that I wish I knew before I started playing Pokeclicker. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video or thought it was helpful at all, please give it a like and even consider subscribing. I'm getting pretty close to 500 subscribers, so if you want to say that you were one of the first 500 people to be subscribed to a YouTube channel with a bazillion subscribers, hurry, because those spots are running out pretty quickly. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.